In the hill country, at the moor's edge, there is a chapel. Religion's outpost in the untamed land west of the valleys. The marginal land, where flesh meets spirit only on Sundays. And the days between are mortgaged to the grasping soil. This is the land of green hay and greener corn, because of the long tarrying of winter and the late spring. This is the land where they burn peat, if there is time for cutting it, and the weather improves for drying it, and the cart is not too old for carrying it, and doesn't get stuck in the wet bog. This is the land where men labour in silence, and the rusted harrow breaks its teeth on the grey stones. Below, the valleys are an open book, bound in sunlight, but the green tale told in its pages is not true. Beloved, let us love one another. The words are blown to pieces by the unchristened wind in the chapel rafters, and love's text is riddled by the inhuman cry of buzzards circling above the moor. Come with me, and we will go back through the darkness of the vanished years to peer inside through the low window of the chapel vestry. The bare room that is sour with books and wet clothes. They chose their pastors as they chose their horses for hard work. But the last one died sooner than they expected. Nothing sinister, you understand, but just the natural breaking of the heart beneath a load unfit for horses. Aye, he's a good un, Job Davies had said, and Job was a master hand at choosing a nag or a pastor. And Job was right. But he forgot, they all forgot, that even a pastor is a man first and a minister after. Although he wears the sober armour of God and wields the fiery tongue of God and listens to the voice of God, the voice no others listen to, the voice that is the well-kept secret of man, like Santa Claus or where baby came from, the secret waiting to be told when we are older and can stand the truth. Oh, but God is in the throat of a bird. Anne heard him speak, and Pantacellin. God is in the sound of the white water falling at Cynfal. God is in the flowers sprung at the feet of Olwen. And Melangell felt his heart beating in the wild hare. Wales, in fact, is his peculiar home. Our fathers knew him. But where is that voice now? Is it in the chapel vestry, where Davies is using the logic of the Smithfield? Did you notice the farm on the hillside? A bit larger than the others, a bit more hay in the barn, 4 cows instead of 2. prosperity is a sign of divine favor. Whoever saw the righteous forsaken, or his seed begging their bread? It even entitles a chapel deacon to a tame pastor. There were people here before these, measuring truth according to the moor's pitiless commentary and the wind's veto. Out in the moor there is a bone whitening, worn smooth by the long dialectic of rain and sunlight. What has that to do with choosing a minister? Nothing. Nothing. Thick darkness is about us. We cannot see the future, nor the thin face of him whom necessity will bring to this lean oasis at the moor's rim. The marginal land where flesh meets spirit only on Sundays, and the days between are mortgaged. But we can see the faces of the men grouped together under the one lamp, waiting for the name to be born to them out of time's heaving thighs. Did you dream, wanderer in the night, of the ruined house with the one light shining, and that you were the moth drawn relentlessly out of the dark? The room was empty, but not for long. You thought you knew them, but they always changed to something stranger if you looked closely into their faces. And you wished you hadn't come. You wished you were back in the wide night under the stars. But when you got up to go, there was a hand preventing you. And when you tried to cry out, the cry got stuck in your dry throat, and you lay there in travail big with your cry, until the dawn delivered you and your cry was stillborn, and you arose and buried it, laying on it wreaths of the birds' songs. But for some there is no dawn, only the light of the cross burning up the long aisle of night, and for some there is not even that. The cow goes round and round the field, bored with its grass world, and in its eyes the mute animal hunger, which you pity. You, the confirmed sentimentalist, playing the old anthropomorphic game. But for the cow, it is the same world over the hedge. No one ever teased her with pictures of flyless meadows, where the grass is eternally green, no matter how often the tongue bruises it, or the dung soils it. But with man it is otherwise. His slow wound deepens with years and knows no healing, only the sharp distemper of remembered youth.